following audio transmission was received from an unknown radio source within the northeastern region of the continental United States. The radio signal has been deciphered from a secret broadcasting facility and is now being transmitted to your listening device. This is the Nostalgia Cafes.
And welcome back to the greatest memories of your childhood, the Nostalgia Cafe. We're so glad you found us. I am Dan Morrow.
Can they hear me?
They can now.
I am Sam Seitels.
I knew he was going to do that.
Yeah, I get distracted sometimes. Too many things to do. And along with us, of course, the beautiful Karen.
Hello.
Beautiful Karen Lynn.
Cheers, beautiful Karen Lynn.
There you go.
Cheers.
Ooh, these are to the tippy top.
Yes.
Yeah. But first things first, be sure to like, subscribe, and tell all your friends about us. You can find us here on Apple Podcast, on Spotify, on all listening platforms, and of course on YouTube now. And you can be liking us and subscribing us. Stick around to the end of the program. There's always a little window that pops up with the another video you can watch and the subscribe button that you can hit. And if you're looking on certain formats on YouTube, in the corner, there will be right near the watermark a little subscribe button that you can also use to subscribe. And boom, you're automatically subscribed. Okay?
Easy peasy.
We have some cool things going on. You know what? Really good guest that you got us for us again. We have, is it Sagoes or?
We have to ask him because I heard a couple people pronounce it differently. I've been calling him Sagoes. He prefers just to be called Ken.
Ken.
Yes.
Ken. He was Roland Kinkaid from Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors. That was the one with Doc. And that was the most commercially popular one because I remember when it came out and stuff. So we're going to be talking to him. He was also on What's Happening Now, which was one of my favorite shows. The original What's Happening was just a great show. We got a few things coming up, though. We have this 80s extravaganza.
I'm so excited. Oh, I hope everyone comes out to this.
That's going to be Saturday and Sunday, July 31st and August 1st. And it's going to be at the Showboat in Atlantic City. To find out anything about it, go to 80s, it's 80s, atlanticac.eventbrite.com. Let me do that over again. 80, number 80, ac.eventbrite.com. It's going to be, for you watching the video, you can always just see it, and the link will be there. And the link will be on the description on the podcast.
You know who's running the show at the 80s extravaganza, right?
Yes.
The Jimmy J. Horror 365. Great podcast if you are a horror head, as they like to say. And he's the guy who hooked us up with this interview. Mm-hmm. So shout out to you, Horror 365. Appreciate you guys.
Oh, yeah. Much appreciated. And I'm glad
I do think it's only Saturday, though. The 31st. I think it's, if you go to Eventbrite, it makes it look like it's 2 days because of the time.
I just wrote it down right off the thing. Saturday, July 31st and Sunday, August 1st.
But
so I will check.
Yeah, you check it because
we'll stay till Sunday.
I got confused.
The time is confusing on the site, so we'll probably clarify that because the site says starting Saturday at 8 p.m.
Right, and it ends at like...
I think it's Sunday.
It ends Sunday at whatever.
And let's not forget to remind people about our crucial role at this place.
Yeah,
there's roller skating, there's a live DJ, there's a Uno tournament, and a Rubik's Cube scavenger hunt, but there's an 80s dance-off, Sam. Is that what you're talking about?
And we are some tough judges.
We are judging.
We are. We are like three Simons, all wrapped into one.
Yeah. Only I don't think I'll be as mean.
Well, I was under the...
You'll be the Paul Abdul.
I was under the tutelage of our local Dawn Baldwin.
Yes.
Local dance choreographer back in the day when I was Mr. McLaren in the play Brigadoon. So I know my moves. And we also had the little extravaganza thing with the chorus line and the...
Yes.
Brigadoon.
I kind of want to give you the gift. Ken's going to call in a couple minutes. Can we just break it out?
If you want.
I do, man. I do. I'm tired of giving all this horror stuff because I know Karen's not into it.
I don't mind horror. I'm just not like...
We will eventually do either a live stream or just something we might post on Instagram of what actually is going on back here.
There's a lot
We have
going
a lot
on.
of
all the stuff going on back there.
Oh,
There's
it
a lot
was-
of cool
of
stuff.
and you can't
And it's
see it
always
all.
changing. There's always something being added. I'm blocking right now.
You also can't see it without
The Mr.
smiling.
McFeely.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is an edition that I'm most excited about, as it brings me right back to 5th grade and the first time I ever got in big trouble at school. I'll tell you why after you open it.
Did you have to go to the principal's office?
Well, I was taken out of the classroom by the teacher and really embarrassed in front of all my friends. That's some rough nostalgia. But what's inside there makes me super happy.
All right. Is it toilet paper?
It's always toilet paper. Wait, hold on.
I thought last
Not
time it
the
was
gift.
paper towel.
No, there was.
No.
You mean the way I wrap it?
Yes.
No, I like to put paper towel on the outside for extra. Oh, check it out.
And it's a POG. These are POGs.
It's a slammer.
Heavy metal slammers.
Oh yeah. Did you guys ever play Pogs back
Never.
in the day?
Absolutely not.
Not even when I had kids.
Oh wow.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
It's
I had Beyblades.
Oh okay.
Had to play with Brendan
See, but
and stuff.
Pokemon cards.
Okay, Pokemon. Well, the thing with Slammers and Pogs is it was like introducing kids to gambling because loser loses his Pogs or her Pogs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you
That's
literally
cool.
bet yours to try to get theirs.
Okay.
And I liked this one kid's Pogs so bad. I learned.
We did that with
Did you
lunches.
steal it?
I stole it straight from the backpack. The only time I know I wanted those Pogs so bad, and man, was it
Look in
embarrassing.
the camera.
Did
and
you learn your-
confess-
did you learn your
confess
lesson?
Your sin.
Michael, I apologized 30 years ago, and I'll do it again. I am sorry, dude.
Can I just tell you, when I was in 5th grade, I was accused of stealing someone's purple Hubba Bubba bubble gum. I swear you. And Bobby, you know who you are.
Wait, but you didn't do it.
I did not do it. And she swore I did it. And I cried. I didn't steal your gum. If I took your gum, I'd tell you. To this day, we still joke about the Hubba Bubba bubble
A future
gum.
episode is going to have to be done on just all the classic toys that
Yes.
we grew up with.
Yes.
From
And
the Slinkies
Pogs
to the
will be
Etch-a-Sketch
one.
to half the stuff
You'll
that's
have to-
up here behind us.
You'll have to
You have to school us some Pogs.
Okay, I will.
because
We'll
have
play a game.
absolutely no clue.
I have many of them.
You'll have to tutor us beforehand so we don't look
So is this
like
something we can
idiots
learn
on
at
film.
Camp Tuscaloosa, how to gamble?
You're going to get me in trouble,
Because I'll bring my kids there.
Yeah.
No.
Your kids are a little too old for Camp
No,
Tuscaloosa.
it's all pure entertainment here, and this obviously is something very, very nostalgic to you, and this brings back. There are certain things like a smell of a crayon that just take you back immediately.
That's true.
When you eat glue, that
No.
just takes you back.
Rubber cement.
Immediately.
Rubber cement. Do you remember? Did you ever do that in school?
No.
Art class? We had
The
these
smell of rubber
cans
cement.
of rubber cement. Like,
Is that safe?
probably not.
Of course not. No, those Kerbo markers we
Explains
used
a
to
lot.
have.
We could do a whole episode
smelly
on how
markers.
The
we
Kerbo markers.
No, remember the markers that actually
I remember the scented ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Kerbo that the
loved
teachers had,
those.
she
Yeah.
would grate it, and you'd smell your paper smell like gasoline.
I didn't like
And you
that.
just smell your
we
paper.
could do a
while-
whole episode on the stuff adults used to give us that were dangerous.
Yes.
And the playgrounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that hot metal slide.
Yes.
Do you know what I have to do
The
on my
monkey bars.
playground to pass
The
inspection?
rest of my
I'm
ass
sure
is
it's
still on a
Yeah.
slide somewhere.
Oh, in the corners. Oh, what
Is
was,
that where it went?
what was the spinny thing? The death trap.
That was
Yes,
just
I
a
did not
spin.
like
Yeah, it was
that.
just the
I,
wheel.
I did
Wheel
not
of
like
death.
that.
There was always someone
There
going
was one
flying.
at the Hamilton Lake Park.
Yeah,
and,
that's the only one I remember.
And actually, when my older kids were there,
It's
And
Mr.
you answer, my friend. I will get it.
This is the Nostalgia Cafe. Who am I speaking with?
It's Ken Sagoes.
Hey, I told you it was Sagoes. We were trying to figure out your last name, so it's Sagoes.
how to pronounce it. We knew your last name. We just didn't know how to pronounce it.
Yes.
Hi.
You there, Ken? Oh, we lost Ken already.
It's not your earbuds, is it?
No,
Is he still on the phone
he
call?
should still be on
Do you
the
know
thing.
Ken is actually calling us from something called a landline?
Well, then we shouldn't have a problem.
Do you know how many times I tried to text message that landline? I was like, oh man, Ken's straight up ignoring me. But no.
No, we had him.
Ken, where are you, brother?
Hello?
Can we call Ken back?
I can try calling you back. Let me call you back, sir.
Yeah. It's not
Hold
like he
on for
lost
a second.
reception. I mean,
No.
landline. Talking about nostalgia.
You hear it?
Yeah.
Pick up.
Hello,
Hello. Is this Ken?
this is Ken.
Hi, Ken. We're sorry about that. Don't know what happened. Just a little glitch. But you're coming in loud and clear. Welcome to the Nostalgia Cafe. This is Dan, along with the beautiful Karen Lynn, and of course Sam, who you've been corresponding with on probably a daily basis, and we apologize.
Happy to be talking with all three of you.
Very nice.
Ken, are you calling us from one of those devices we call a landline?
That's the only way I roll. I'm old.
It's not a rotary, is it?
Where the rotary is in the other room now. I can go get on it.
What color is the rotary phone?
Blue.
All right. Is it like that powdery blue?
Yes, it's a dog blue. I'm going to send you a picture of it. And I got a black one, too.
Yes, my grandmom had that blue one in her bedroom, and I used to play with it.
I know, weren't those things the
Yes,
best? Perfect
yes.
for the Nostalgia
No,
Cafe.
my favorite phone was the my aunt had one. It looked old fashioned, but it was still new. But it looked like it was something like from the 30s.
Okay.
But it had the rotary dial, and it had the little
earpiece thing?
pipe looking thing.
Those were comfortable on the ear. Mm-hmm. So,
Welcome to the show. It's Ken Sagoes, and I'm sure you heard. And I'm sure you heard probably the old joke, whatever Ken say goes.
oh no, you didn't.
No. No, it's what you say matters, but what can't say goes.
Okay. All right. I thought obviously I knew I wasn't original there.
That's very old.
A lot of people remember you as Roland Kinkaid from Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors. And
Yes.
that to me, I think, was one of the most commercially popular because also because of the song. I know MTV was premiering, at the premiere and debuting excerpts from like the red carpet and stuff. I don't know if that's just my memory being in a fog, but I do remember it being a big deal. And then the video came out. It was just a really big deal, and it was a really, really good movie. And welcome to the show. I'm sure Sam has a bunch of questions.
Thank you. I did not know my last name until part 4. So all I knew was Kinkaid. I didn't have no idea that my first name was Roland.
Wait, you didn't know your last name until the movie after Dream Warriors?
No, because that's not what they called me. They called me Kinkaid.
I didn't know it either until I always just saw you as Kinkaid.
Yeah, Kinkaid. So, it's not the first name? Okay.
Yeah, so...
Not until we was doing part 4 and they had Roland Kinkaid. And then when, you go on IMDb and they put who you was playing.
Right.
That was it.
So,
Because they never addressed that I had a first or last name. I was always Kinkaid.
Right, so there was never really an elaborate character description for you.
No. Even in the breakdowns, it was Kinkaid.
Huh.
I kind of like it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
something that is unique is that where I live in Inglewood, one block over is a street called Kinkaid.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. And I almost moved on that street. The only reason I wasn't living on Kinkaid is because another apartment on another street came available when I moved out here. That's the only reason that I wasn't living on Kinkaid Street.
And was that before you got the role or after?
That was before.
So I would have definitely taken that as a sign.
We're going to have to GPS and see how many blocks it is from Elm Street.
Oh, yeah.
Ken, I was holding back when I was talking to you on the phone. I got to let you know now that Dream Warriors, and your character is hands down my favorite part of the entire Elm Street series by far. And I'm not just saying that to blow smoke. I'm telling you that when I found out that Horror 365, my friend Jimmy J interviewed you, I was like, you have got to hook me up with Kinkaid. I've been watching this man since I was 12 years old, along with my best friend Scott. He introduced me, and I was like, this is the coolest character in any horror movie I've ever seen. That isn't the actual killer.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So how did it come about? How did you get this audition? How did the audition go?
Oh man, you know what I'm going to do? Because I got it because I had an attitude. Long story short, my agent at the time was David Wilder, and he had called me. He wanted me to meet this casting director named Annette Benning, but she never had time to see me. So he had got me in for an audition for this role called Kinkaid on Nightmare on Elm Street. I did not know what Nightmare on Elm Street was.
What?
I had never heard of it. And that particular day, it was like raining. It was like, well, not raining. It was like God was pouring rain down. I didn't have a car, and I had to go to court, which was on one side of town, and then he was talking about a freaking audition on another side of town. And in the breakdown, I did not fit. I didn't look nothing like what they was asking for. And so I didn't want to go. I had a serious attitude. I had to catch 2 buses to the place, to a court, and then 3 buses to get to the audition. So, and I lost the court case. Cost me money.
No way. You lost a court case the day of the audition?
I had to get, yeah, that's why I didn't want to go. And I kept telling him I don't want to go. And he said, just go in and see it. She's going to be casting something else. And if I can get you in now, maybe she could see that you could do this.
Well, did you know what it was for? Did you know it was for the franchise or just for a film?
I never heard of Nightmare on Elm Street. I was no freaking Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, I was having a bad day. I didn't want to go. So by the time I got there, I knew that if I went up and did the audition, I could catch this bus home. It was in the evening, and it was getting dark. I could catch this bus home. And when I got up there, was all these nicely well-built guys, and they was running an hour or so behind.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm pissed again. So when I went into the audition, I had such an attitude. And he asked me to look at something, and I said a black guy wouldn't say this. So he said, well, just say it how a black guy would do. So I kind of like cussed him out. And he just said, thank you, because I had the attitude. I even threw some shit around in it.
What? This is insane.
So perhaps they may have not have even had a black person in mind for this role, and you.
It was Kinkaid originally was not for a black guy,
right.
But they decided to look at him. So by the time I got home, that was back when it was those big old boxes for answering machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was full, and my agent had been calling, and he had been calling. And I said, he said, what the hell did you do? And I said, David, I told you I didn't want to go, and I told you not to send me.
Right.
And then he said, they loved you. So they actually thought I was acting when I went in.
When you went in. That's great. That's awesome. You don't still have the answering machine, do you?
Yeah, we're looking for the role of an angry black man who's about to miss his bus.
Yeah. Go.
Yeah, and you nailed it.
Let me tell you this here. It did not work on the next audition I had.
Didn't go so well the next one.
Didn't go so well. You know. So it was. So that basically has a lot to do with how I got the role.
So did you getting the role? Did that affect the script? Since I mean, you were saying earlier, right, that the lines that they were feeding you, you wouldn't say as a black person. Like, did it change at all once you got the role? No,
it didn't change. And you know, and the lines basically stayed the same. It was. I just have to say something like, "Golly gee, Twistin." I could say, "Fuck you, Chris." So it didn't change that much. But Chuck Russell and Wes Craven, I think, gave permission that I could put my own take. But I didn't really change the words as a writer myself.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to change another writer's words, but some things that, I just wasn't feeling. So he let me ad-lib some things. That's basically what it was.
Right.
I kept some of the words and I ad-lib. Like that, hey, Freddie, where you at, you burnt face pussy? Some of that was... Some of that was ad-lib.
Wait. That line, because that's the line right there. That was ad-lib.
But, some of those things coming out back that, hey, Freddie Krueger, pussy, stuff like that was added. That was not in the script.
I am enjoying hearing these lines from you live so much right now.
Yeah, we wanted to surprise you. We're going to do a table read, actually, of the script.
No, here's the thing. It's like when it comes to Kinkaid, nobody can play that like Ken did. Like that character, I want to talk a little bit about part 4, if that's okay, because there was no death in any horror movie that was more disappointing to me than your death in part 4. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Damn, the death was my paycheck.
Oh.
That's what was disappointing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame because you're great.
I think I'm not sure. I've a lot of rumors, and which seem to be more to the truth, is that they wanted Patricia Arquette to come back, and for some reason they couldn't make a deal to bring her back. So I think if they had brought her back, Joy and myself would have been in part 4 just a little bit longer.
I know, they killed you off so quick.
Yeah, and I used to tell my friends, I was doing stand-up at the time, I used to tell my friends, if you want to see me in the movie, do not get any popcorn or something to drink. Take your ass straight to the theater. You'll have time to go back and get something to drink.
That's funny.
But as a writer, I could respect that I had to go because they was trying to get rid of the old and bring in the new. However, if I had written that script, Kinkaid still would be kicking Freddy Krueger's ass. But I didn't write the script.
Yes. And in fact, I love what you said on Horror 365. I hope you don't mind me bringing it up on this show, but your idea of how to make the sequel to part 3. Could you explain that to my friends over here with the goes to hell part?
When did I? Okay.
So
I think I said. I think I said because I be changing up after every interview. But I think I said.
He's trying to keep it fresh.
I think I said if they was going to do a part 3, I think it would be very nice if they show the parents of the Dream Warriors and it be us. And and that way they would have the old cast and the new cast that makes sense.
So that's pretty cool. That's cool. But my preference about what you guys said is because you got the end of Friday the 13th where Jason goes to hell. And what was that line you said?
That part. Okay,
yes.
That part for what that was a rumor. I don't know how true it was. It was that because it had been so much about Kinkaid and Freddie, a lot of people felt that Kinkaid should have had a longer fight with Freddie in part 4. They wanted to see a dropout battle between the two roles. So it was rumored that the reason I said I would see you in hell because the idea was floating around that Kinkaid was going to come back and have a battle with Freddy Krueger.
In hell.
Yeah, he was going to be trapped in limbo and he was going to come back and go head to head with Freddy. That was the rumor. Now, I do know in part 6, there was also a script that was floating around, and I've seen it, where some of the Dream Warriors came back as Dream Patrols or something like that. I never read it, but they scratched that.
Like the Dream SWAT team?
Yeah, it was kind of like that. They were trying to find a way at one point to do something with the Dream Warriors because it was the most popular movie of the series, I think.
It really
And then
is
came
so
Part
good.
4.
Yeah, because the original film was successful in its own right, but then didn't really come into its own until home video came out and cable, and people were seeing it there. And then the sequel came, and by the time it got the Dream Warriors, it was an honest-to-God franchise now.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the commercial success of the Dawkins song and the just the video and everything. Yeah, it was a big deal.
And no one knew. I don't think they knew that it was going to be as big as it was. It was considered a blockbuster. You know, Kinkaid, my character, actually had his own fan club in Taiwan.
That's great.
When I was doing research for this episode, I would go to YouTube videos of stuff you've done, and they are always. I was reading the comments. I wanted to see what people had to say. They are always flooded with comments about how Kinkaid should not have died, that he was the best character, and that he should have stayed to the end of Part 4.
I believe that. You want me to disagree?
No.
I personally think he should still be on the wheelchair talking shit. Toothless Kinkaid coming in on a wheelchair, cussing Freddie out.
I'd take my money. I'd go to see that 100%. Does anyone ever, I don't mean to be weird, but does anyone ever talk to you about how awesome your voice is?
Oh, yeah. But you realize I have never done a voiceover.
Really?
No, I have never done a voiceover. And I want to get into voiceovers, but I have never been able to do one. And it is, and I can't fool no one. I can call up a girl and say, "Hey, what's going on, baby?" Ken, shut up, Ken.
There's only one voice like this, and the way it sounds when you're screaming curse words at Freddy Krueger, it sounds so awesome.
Yeah, it was a cross between a man and a bitch, right? That's right. So I got you. I got you. I got you.
You said it, not me.
It was just above Michael Jackson and just below Barry White.
Oh man! So when you were making this, did you have any idea of like the impact you were about to make on the horror world?
I had no idea the importance of my character, and I don't think they had any idea, because then later I found out that I am the first black to ever survive a major international horror film.
Wow.
And, they tried to give it to LL Cool J, but it wasn't. It was me. So, but I always give homage to the great William Marshall back in the black exploitation years in the 70s when they had the black exploitation movies. He did something called Blackula, and that was Blackula 2.
Yeah.
So, technically, he disqualified because he was dead. So,
right. Right.
But internationally, I am the one that's in that record. And I thank Wes Craven and I thank New Line for having that insight to that.
Well, how was the experience with the cast, with Robert Englund, with the director? How was the whole experience?
I know that they did the movie Never Sleep Again. Everybody had something to say about what was going on. I really don't, because I just did my things and went to the dressing room, so I didn't know that they was having the stuff that was going on. But as far as personally, Robert Englund was like a big brother. Heather Langenkamp was, Heather Langenkamp was like a big sister. Lawrence Fishburne, I would never forget him. He was like a big brother. He taught me how to do physical acting. I had never had that type of acting before, so he took me to the side and talked to me. And but everybody on there, Chuck Russell, the director, he did something that today that I use when I am blessed to direct something, is that before we shoot, he got all the characters together, all of us Dream Warriors. We had a couple of parties before we went on the set and got to know each other in a completely
different setting,
different light. Yeah. So when we got on the set to film, one of the first things we shot was in the hospital where they took me out, and we was.
You mean like when you were doing the group meeting?
Yeah. That was one of the first things that we shot, and when we shot that scene, we honestly knew each other and we felt for each other.
So there was a true camaraderie there.
There was a true camaraderie and a true love there, and so he gave us all of that, and we are friends. You know, and I don't say this literally. I think we are friends. And do we see each other every day, every month, sometimes every year? No, we don't. But when we get together, it's like we saw each other last week.
Right.
Because we talked. And if we disagreed with one another, we talked about our disagreements, and then we keep it moving. And so that's the one thing that I can say about how I felt, how I feel and felt about Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors.
So as I've been talking to you, I'm realizing, you know, what a great person you are. You're very intelligent. You're very wise. Because there's so much to talk about with the things you're doing nowadays that I cannot wait for the listeners to hear about. But first, I just want to know, like, did you grow on the set? Like, were you a different person afterwards as an actor, as a person? Like, when the experience was over, what did you get from it?
Oh, yes, I was a different person because I couldn't pay my rent before I got the job. I could pay my rent afterwards. So that's a different mentality there.
Yeah.
There's a thing called freedom. I didn't have to peep out the window to see if the landlord's car was there.
Right.
I could walk out the front door and say hi in front of you.
Right.
But to answer your question, yes, it was. But then, on the other hand, I come from a southern spiritual family where I was somewhat grounded before I got here.
Right.
And I never really wanted to be famous. That's the one thing that I didn't want. But I did love the craft. And there's a lot of actors that wants to be famous and they enjoy the red carpet. They enjoy doing it. I don't.
Interesting.
There's a purpose for everything that I do. I'm not against it. It's just something that I can live with. I'm okay being at home, writing. The important thing to me is that I can give back. And that's really the core of who I am.
Well,
so
that all started with a woman who was in your neighborhood, right, when you were a kid. Would you be willing to share that story with our listeners? Because I think it is so special.
Well, it's when I'm from Atlanta. I was born in Stockbridge, but I'm from Atlanta. That's where I grew up as a child. And I was one of those little mischievous kids. Wasn't I going to say bad kids? But you know, I wasn't no A-list or no angel. That I wasn't. I had one wing, but so. And we used to joke at this elderly lady when we would go to school, and because she was going from door to door begging for money. Oh. And we used to call her, "Hey, Miss Brown, you ain't getting enough money today." And she wouldn't say anything. She just was begging for money. That woman would be begging for money when we went to school. And when we come back, sometimes she'd be 4 or 5 blocks away still begging for money in that fruit jar. And we joked with her and we called her so many names. But when we graduated from high school and were getting ready to go off to college, the joke was on us. So she wasn't begging for money because she was hungry. She was getting money together so that when we went off to college, we could have money to pay for our books.
Oh.
She gave us the check. So because of that, I started an organization. Oh, yeah, and then I wanted to thank her when I was coming home for Christmas. And she died, I think, like 4 days before I was to come home.
No.
Well, I never got a chance to thank her. So one of the things I do is I give scholarships every year. And I started an organization called the Giving Back Corporation and in 97. And I'll be giving 11 scholarships this year, which will put me up as in the range of 660 kids that I have helped put through college.
That's amazing.
I saw, people are writing to you, thanking you for changing their lives, and it's just unbelievable what you're doing for people. And so I want to contribute. I'm sure listeners, they're going to want to contribute to this awesome cause. We've been talking a lot. I'm an educator. So when you told me that you're giving people scholarships, I was just blown away. What can people do to help contribute to the cause?
If you go in on Facebook and just write Ken Sagoes Giving Back Corporation, it'll come up. And then there's a donation. If you go there, you can hear from some of the kids, and you can see what I do. During some of the spring break, I would send kids to camp. Not just in Los Angeles. I do this. I would pick a kid in many different cities. I've helped kids in New York, New Jersey, Tennessee, Texas, Georgia. I would do that. And I've also have sent kids like little books and things in different countries, maybe one or two. But it's what I enjoy doing. And it's not something that someone got me doing it. I enjoy it. That is my other life blood, if you might say.
Well, knowledge is power, and you are literally giving these kids the power that they can use for the rest of their lives.
And I say that because people, as you all look at me as being this person, Kinkaid from Nightmare on Elm Street, and it's this little pedestal that I am on. I always say to the fans, I am who I am because of you. You're the wind beneath my wings. So I have to respect you. If I am flying, it's simply because of you. So I would never, ever disrespect a fan. I would never, ever make them feel less than what I am, because in a sense, from my point of view, you are higher than I am. And you keep me up off the floor. So that's my belief. That's the core of my soul. And I don't talk about it. A lot of people talk about, I'm going to do this when I make it.
Right.
I do it now. Mm-hmm. And that's why I give the scholarships away. I don't want to be one of those entertainers to say, or persons, I'm going to say persons, to say, when I make it, I'm going to do.
Right.
The fact that you was given the gift to open your eyes, do it now.
Right.
And that's how I live my life. And I don't explain it. I don't justify it. I just do it.
Well, you're a true philanthropist. It becomes addicting, doesn't it? There's one thing I love to do.
It does.
To give.
And, I remember one time.
You just love to give.
Yeah, but sometimes you can give too much. So.
Yeah.
Because I could tell you, there was one time I had invited this lady friend over, right? And, we was going to sit down and we were going to watch the movie and everything. This was back in the VCR days. And we sitting down, we getting ready to watch the movie, and then the electricity was cut off. So I've been paying to help everybody else. And
you didn't pay your bill.
Right.
Right.
And she was, and she worked at the newspaper. So she took advantage of that. I was so angry at her for years. She didn't call my name, but she said, I want to talk about a friend, who, and I was so angry at it.
Yeah.
But now when I look back at it, I'm proud of what she wrote because it's the essence of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for everybody who's listening, no, please don't say he's an angel because I'm far from that. I'm far from that.
Yeah, you called Freddie a pussy. I don't think it's...
A burned face pussy.
I could not cuss like that if some of it wasn't in me.
So you were talking about how your fans are so loyal. They really are. In fact, later on, my best friend in the world, he wanted to ask you a question. He's the one who taught me about the Dream Warriors, and I promised him he was going to get to ask you a question. But these fans are so loyal. Don't you have some kind of program where if you donate X number of dollars, you get some kind of Kinkaid memorabilia or something along those lines?
It's not necessarily a program. What it is that I'm trying to raise money to produce and direct this short film that is very passionate to me. And yes, it has to do with children.
Is that The Secret Weapon?
It's called The Secret Weapon, Yesterday is Today. And it's the story of the children back in 1963 who gave the power back to the civil rights movement. And these children was looked at all over the world. When I say all over the world, I mean France, Russia, Germany, because they had their eye on these children who took a stand against this ruthless, racist sheriff, per se, in Birmingham, Alabama, named Boer Connor. If you think I'm lying, look him up.
Wait, I'll look it up right now. What is it, Boer Connor?
Boer, B-U-L-L.
Okay.
Bull.
Connor. He was legendary. He was the Freddy Krueger to those children.
Oh, we're looking at a picture of him right now.
So this story is not a horror film, but what he did to those children was horror. But they stood up against him. And so I want to write a short film that hopefully will parlay into a feature film. And what I need from the fans that I am begging that to help me get this movie done, I need about $60,000, and I got memorabilia that I would sell, like postcards and everything, dog chains, and everything. I think there's a link that you can go to. Go to the SagosCompany.com.
We'll find it and we'll post it all over our social media.
Is this a GoFundMe thing?
The GoFundMe. But it's the Indigo crowdfunder. It's called The Secret Weapon. But I set up a very special perk for the horror community. And I've been helped by the horror community so much that I decided that when I put in the IMDb about the producers, I'm going to put a special thank you to the horror community, because they have been really coming together to help me. And that's something that's never been done. I want to acknowledge the horror community because we get such a bad rap. The horror community gets such a bad rap.
Does it?
Yeah, as far as unity and everything, I have not seen no Christian group, no nothing group supporting me. But the horror community has been supporting me.
Wow.
And I need them to keep supporting me because I'm thanking them. It's nothing against any other group, but I know they have been showing me some wonderful support.
How far along are you on this? Do you have a treatment or anything done?
Oh, I have everything. I'm ready to shoot.
Okay.
I even, one of the young actors was a disability actor. He's blind. And I didn't go out and find a actor to pretend to be blind. I went out and actually found a young kid blind actor and given him a chance.
Wow.
Because that's what it's about. So, yes, and I just want to do this project. I ask for your support. If the horror community could just come together and just give me $5, I can reach that goal.
Well, I'd like to tell you something, Ken, because there's something that we love doing. There's something I absolutely love doing, and that's giving and donating. And on behalf of the Nostalgia Cafe, we're going to give you $100 towards your thing. When we're done, we're going to have a little care package for you that we'll send to you. You've been in contact with Sam.
I already got the address.
We got your address. You'll get a check along with a few little other fun little tokens of our appreciation.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Now you're going to make old Kinkaid cry.
Oh, man.
Well, you made me cry with your story about the woman. I literally
Isn't
had
that
to
such
tear.
a great story?
Yes.
Let me say it this way. Fucking A, you guys.
That's
Well,
funny.
here's the thing. In all honesty, I'm not a churchgoer. You know, I'm very Christian. I do believe in a higher power, but they do say that those like evangelical Christians are known to tithe, which is giving 10% of your income to your church. I don't go to church, so I save 10% of my income for this
donate.
kind of stuff. We donate, and I have a charity up here that I will get you involved with. They're called Bianca's Kids, and
Thank you.
It is an amazing charity.
they're an amazing charity, and
Yes.
so anything we can do to help.
What do they send kids to camp or something?
They do everything. They help families with kids with disabilities, kids who are dying of cancer, kids who have illnesses. They do everything. They're based up here in New Jersey. I'll send you the link as well, and I'm personal friends with the
What part of New Jersey?
South Jersey. They're based around Williamstown. We are actually between Atlantic City and Philadelphia. We're in a town called Hamilton.
We're smack dab in the middle.
Well, I say that because one of the things that I love to do, and I'm going to start back doing it. I stopped it a little over a year ago. Is that every Friday I used to go to the senior citizen home and read to them.
Oh,
And
that's
then
awesome.
I would go.
And
I
you
would
know how
go-
much they appreciate that? Really?
Yes, they do.
Oh.
They do. And then I would go to the children. So I was asking you that perhaps when I'm in that area, maybe I can come out there and read a story.
Oh,
Oh,
Ken.
that's awesome.
Ken, you have to come to my school, to my
Yeah.
camp.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to see Sam's camp.
You know, so and so that's something that I enjoy doing. So, and when I was telling you earlier, I've never been attracted to the red carpet. I realize that those are things that you have to do, but
Right.
I really could care less about them.
Right.
And it's let me say, because I don't want nobody hearing this and say, you know, he said this about y'all red carpet. No, I did not. That's how rumors get started. I'm saying that, you know, when I got started in the business, I used to have some friends to say, what you mean you don't want to be famous? I never want to be famous. I just enjoy the craft.
You're like a true artist too. It's not just acting. I mean, you really work hard at writing. Am I right?
I write. I've done stand-up. The only thing that I can't do is sing.
Oh,
And I thank God.
there you go.
God said,
Dan will take over for you there. Dan's a singer.
God said, I did not send you a voice to sing, Ken, so quit trying. Tell him, Gabriel. It was a joke that my mama said one time that, you know, when she make her transition, if you want to know if she dead, let me sing a couple of notes. If she don't work up, she's dead.
Oh man, Ken, my best friend is literally messaging me because he can't believe I'm talking to you right now. He wants me to play his question as well as his best Kinkaid impression. Are you ready for this?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
All right.
And tell him he has to go and buy one of my items.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Scott Reed, I'm telling you, dude, buy an item. Here's
Okay.
his impression. All right, let's see how this goes.
Kristen! Freddy's back!
And tell him this is my impression of him. Fucking A! Fuck you! You sit down!
Yes. All right, now it's time for his question. Here we go.
Okay.
Ken Sagoes, also known as Roland Kinkaid. My name is Scott Reed, and I'm telling you right now, I'm one of your biggest fans. Congratulations on not only surviving the best Nightmare on Elm Street. There is number 3, but also being in 3 and 4. And what's it like to be the only African-American male to be in the Nightmare series? Thank you for your awesome contribution to horror films. And thank you for chatting with my best friend, Sam Seitels. You are indeed, sir, the man.
Thank you. Tell him, first of all, can you hear me? Or?
No. He's literally just writing to me.
He's going to have to watch the podcast and listen to it.
And we're going to have to tell him that you did an impersonation of him.
Yeah.
What's
his name is Scott.
Scott Reed.
Well, okay. Well, Scott Reed, is he on Facebook?
He sure is.
Would you send me his thing so I can reach out to him on Facebook?
Ken, you are going to make him flip out.
He's going to shit his pants.
I am so excited for him.
I love this show.
As a matter of fact, what's his telephone number?
Oh!
You want to, oh, no way.
We'll have
Are
to
you
give
serious?
it to you. We'll have to give it to you.
Sam will give you everything.
Email me his send his email and I'll call him personally.
Yeah, we post this on YouTube. We can't be giving out Scott's phone number to everybody.
No. Just send it to it, and I will personally call him. And I do that, you know.
Sam will email you everything.
I'm so excited for my friend Scott right now. That's amazing, dude.
But as for this question, I wished I could say in words how it feels because I'm immensely grateful and happy. But even though, but I am not the only black that has been in there. There's been in part 4, I think there was one guy that made a brief. His name was Dwayne. I know him. Actually, you remember when somebody was trying to talk to Toy? She got off her little scooter. It was a black guy, remember?
Are you talking about in part 4?
Yeah.
So part 3 is my jam. After you died in part 4, I checked out.
He went for the popcorn.
Okay. The part that I'm trying to make is that when you go see Toy and she come in and some guy trying to talk with her, I don't know his character name, but the real actor is named Dwayne. I know him. He was the one that was up for Kinkaid. It was between me and him.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Hey, we're reaching pretty close to that hour. That went quick, but man, I got to ask you, as being a horror icon such as yourself, before Freddy, before all the awesomeness of Kinkaid, were you a horror fan? Are there any horror movies? I know you met Alfred Hitchcock before. Do you have any horror movies that you loved from back in the day?
The only movie that I had watched, I can name the 4 that I had watched. The Birds. I love The Birds.
Oh, yes.
And then I watched Blackula
Mm-hmm.
and Blackula Part 2. And there was a movie called J.D. Revenge that starred a phenomenal actor, Glenn Turman.
What's Blackula?
Blackula.
Blackula.
Yeah.
Blackula.
Like a black vampire?
Yeah, it's Black Dracula.
He was
Yeah.
Black Dracula. He was Dracula, but he was black.
Yeah.
Right on.
From the hood. From the hood.
From the hood.
You know, from the hood. You know.
Yeah, man.
Do you have to say it like that?
Blackula.
No, the hood.
Hood.
The
Oh,
hood.
Ken, one more thing.
hood.
One more thing from my friend Scott. He wants you to know that he is currently, now that I told him you're going to call him sometime, he said that he's doing the dance that you did in the junkyard.
Oh, really?
Well, let's hope he doesn't die after that.
But what a way to go.
What a way to go. I want to know, did you have fun working with the puppy?
Oh, the puppy.
The puppy.
Jason. You want to know something funny? There was 3 different dogs.
Was it really?
Each one of them had, each one of them had an attitude. There was a dog that
Me, I'm like, oh, puppy, run.
Yeah. No, there was 2 different dogs. There was one that the dog that was licking me on the bed was not the same dog that was pissed to fire.
Those who haven't seen the movie yet.
Piss the fire.
Yeah, pissed the fire
He
and
did piss
resurrected.
fire.
He resurrected Freddy.
I was like, ooh, how'd that happen?
See, if they can have a dog pee and resurrect Freddy, why can't they have Kinkaid versus Freddy in hell?
I have to agree. I have to agree there.
Hey,
I have
well,
to,
they can't have it now. It won't work.
you've
disagree.
done a lot of other things. You're also writing and you're directing. You've done a lot of television as well. What's happening now is something that I'm really intrigued about because I loved watching that because the original What's Happening, Danielle Spencer, Dee, was such a pain in the ass, but she became so beautiful in What's Happening Now. And the whole cast, Haywood Nelson, Rerun, Ernest Thompson, I just loved that show.
That was the debut of Martin Lawrence's acting career. On
Really?
that show.
Really?
And we was actually living together in real life.
Oh my gosh, get out.
How did that happen?
We both auditioned for the role, and it got down between the two of us, and they thought Martin was immensely talented, and they liked what I did, and so they just, instead of just hiring one, they hired both
Both of
us
you? That's
and
awesome.
made us friends. And at that time, Martin lived on the East Coast, but he had to find a way to move out here. And so he asked me, could he stay with me? And we had just met that day, and I said, yeah. So that's how it happened.
Do you guys still talk? Do you still?
We see each other, and we still talk. There was no animosity. He's my brother.
Right.
And the one thing I would say about Morton, he doesn't like me to tell this story. We was like the Waltons, every night before
Good night, John boy.
bed, he would call me Shorty. Jim, love you, Shorty. And I said, yeah, I love you too. And we said that every night to each other. There was one night we got into a big argument. But we went to bed, you said, love you, Shorty. Fuck you, love you too.
That's so powerful. That's just so beautiful. It's like a husband and wife who argue, but they still have to touch their feet underneath the covers.
Yeah.
Dan
we
says,
weren't sleeping in the
are you
same
saying
bed
that out of
now.
experience?
It was, and because the Martin Lawrence that I know, that I still believe is there, he's a giving, caring person. He was, his name is Martin, Fitzgerald Lawrence, and Fitzgerald is because he was named after President Kennedy.
Right, Fitzgerald.
His first name comes from Dr. Martin Luther King.
Okay.
His middle name comes from President Kennedy because they were the two powerful men back when he was born, I think when his mother was growing up. So that's what she named him, Martin Fitzgerald Lawrence.
That's awesome. The working with What's Happening,
Now.
What's Happening Now. You're a new actor, you and Martin Lawrence. Now you're doing this show with iconic characters. Was that intimidating?
Yeah.
Not going to lie.
It was, but at the same time, because you see, I had come I had gotten 3 very important jobs. I had gotten a job called The George McKenna Story with Denzel Washington.
Oh.
And then
Denzel.
I went
He's a
went
sexy
from
man.
there to Nightmare on Elm Street. A lot of people think What's Happening Now was before Nightmare on Elm Street, but it was Nightmare on Elm Street that probably tipped the scale to get me What's Happening Now. But before that, I got some news for you. Before that, before all of that, I was a staff writer at Paramount.
Oh.
And what did you work on?
Oh, now you want me to tell my age, right?
Hey, this is the Nostalgia Cafe. We celebrate that.
I actually, Laverne and Shirley.
Oh.
I started off with Joni Love Chachi.
Joni loves Chachi.
Chachi, and then I went to Laverne and Shirley, and then I did some work for Happy Days.
Oh,
Really?
man.
That's
Laverne
awesome.
And Shirley.
That's awesome.
My first actor, one of my first credits.
What was your favorite Joni Loves Chachi episode? Because I'll tell you mine.
I only did like one because it got canceled. That's what took me over to Laverne and Shirley.
Okay.
Because they all was Gary Marshall
Right.
on the Gary Marshall's show.
Hey, it's not your fault that
what's
they
happened?
jumped the shark, is it? Were you at that meeting? Please tell me no.
No, I had nothing to do with that. As a matter of fact, when
Because by this time, Laverne and
they,
Shirley were probably in California, right? And not in Milwaukee anymore?
by this time they were still in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Cindy was pregnant. They was having some issues, and then she left the show. So I was new. I was an apprentice writer. Didn't know what was going on. I just learned to keep my mouth shut and kept it moving.
Keep it moving.
Ken, I have one final question that I need answered, and that is because I heard you mention it in the other podcast. Joan Rivers. Am I right in saying that she saved your job once?
She saved my job, and I have the letters when she was going to bring me on her show when Nightmare on Elm Street came out, but the show got canceled, and she sent me a letter and said, of course, I remember that time because it was my first job in California was a security guard at Universal Studios, and because I could not afford to take the classes, I would, as a security guard, I would get trapped in the stages because once you would go on the stage and they start filming, you couldn't move.
Oh.
So, and that's why I met Alfred Hitchcock, Telly Savalas, let me take his class. I met Lucille Ball.
That's
I see
awesome.
my friend. Don't take this personally, y'all, but every white woman wanted to pinch my cheeks. I got
Those cheeks. Those
don't
cheeks.
take, please. Are you
No.
the cutest? Got the cutest little cheeks. Look, babe, I'm 20-something years old.
Oh my gosh,
She
that's
gave us
funny.
So I was on a post one time when they told me not to let anyone come through unless they show you some ID, even if they look like the person, because at that time there was this a lot of impersonators was coming on the set
Right.
and looking just like the people, and so they had a very important meeting with Joan Rivers. She came through. She said something to me, and then she started talking to me because of my southern accent. And we must have talked for 15 minutes. She was already late before she got there. But she stood down and she was talking to me. She was encouraging me in all of this here. And then when they called down and asked me about Joan Rivers, and I said, she's right here, and she was getting her ID out. They went off on me and said, you holding Joan Rivers up? And the lady upstairs was pissed. So Joan Rivers went up. About 5 minutes later, she called and told me I didn't have any sense to be working on a desk like that. I couldn't. Something she said. So then immediately after that, the captain of security called and said they was relieving me.
Oh.
And to pack all of my things up, I was being relieved.
Oh no.
And then Joan Rivers came down. I apologized to her. And she said, for what? And I told her. She didn't even say anything. She just got back on the elevator. She went back upstairs. And 5 or 10 minutes later, they called and said I was not being replaced, that I was keeping my job. And Joan Will, when she came back, she said, we told that tramp, didn't we?
I love Joan.
Yeah.
I love Joan.
That tramp may not have a job. I told that tramp off.
She's the only one that ever
you.
responded to a Facebook email that I sent her.
No way.
I wrote her a letter when she was getting a lot of flack over something, and she just said, "Thanks, Dan." But it was something.
Yeah.
It was something. Ken, if you can go back in time and meet that young, struggling Ken Sagoes, whose life was unsure, uncertain, and you could say one thing to him, what would you say to yourself?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. If I could go back,
Like, think of one of your hardest times when you were really down and out, or just emotionally, or just financially. If you could just say one thing to that kid.
keep the faith.
That's very
It's going
good.
to be okay.
Yep.
Keep the faith, because I wouldn't say, I believe that everything's happened for a reason. I've had some hard times. I've had some good times. I had some rough times. But when I look back over the index of my life and turn to the page, there's something that I grew from. And so I don't know if I try to change something, I wouldn't be as rich as I am. I think that I'm a very rich person, not financially, but mentally. I'm coming out what I feel was like a depression from something that I went through.
Mm-hmm.
But what I look at is that I used to not look down, but not give it much thought when I saw a homeless person, when I saw a person who appeared to be down and didn't want to believe that they needed psychiatric or mental health. I didn't want to believe it was necessary. But what I went through, and I found myself having to go and talk to someone, I have the highest respect. So I see people differently now.
Right.
When I see a person on the street, I don't know what shoes they have walked in.
I mean, you don't know their
So
story.
I don't know their story. So if I had to go back to someone, I would tell them to have faith, but most learn to appreciate. Learn to appreciate.
Well, we appreciate you, man.
Yes.
You matter. You still matter.
Thank you. And that's why I say to people, I am where I am because of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate my fans. Yes, I have some bad days. I was in the airport one day. I was in the bathroom. I was taking care of my moment. That was not the right time for somebody to be sending me a piece of paper asking for an autograph.
Right.
I don't know why people do that. That's
And
awful.
then they'll write and say, he had an attitude. They don't tell you what I was doing when I had the attitude.
Listen, I had to go to the bathroom. Like, that's it.
No, I was in the bathroom. I was having a personal bathroom
Moment. Exactly. I don't understand why people do that.
So that's the answer to my question. I don't have anything profound to say. It's just keep the faith and appreciate.
And what else you got going on your burners right now?
Right now, it's just that short film. I really, really want to do it, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Let me say, I'm going to do it. It's just that I can always use the money so I can do it well. I want to do it right, but I want to do it well.
And they can find that on Indigo, the secret weapon. It's called. And we'll have the links and everything.
Yeah, and Ken, if you're ever up this way, us, the guys from Horror 365, we would be honored to have a barbecue with you.
I promise you, I would rather go fishing.
All right, hey, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I like going fishing,
We
but
got
You can
maybe
eat
good
I'll
the
legs.
fish
go.
at the you can eat the fish at the barbecue.
I like simple stuff. I didn't say no ocean fishing either. I said on a lake or a creek.
On a lake.
We can do that.
Okay, we
Yeah.
could do that.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing this, Ken. You're a remarkable person. We're so happy to contribute, and we just appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys, and I say this with much love, and I respect and appreciate what you're doing.
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Sagoes.
Thank you.
Talk to you later, man.
I shall be calling you. All right.
All right,
right.
man. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you go.
Scott's
Dude,
going to
I
poop
love-
his pants when he
He's
calls
already, he won't stop messaging
I love this
me.
show.
No, he is.
I love this show.
You talking about the Nostalgia Cafe?
Yes.
Nostalgia Cafe.
Is this
Of
not
course.
the absolute best? Seriously, let me be honest with you guys. Every time I sit down here and we start the show, I have to hold back because I want to tell you guys how much I love you guys. I'm not.
It's awesome.
We love you too.
And the guests, they become friends of the show. You know, when we first sat and discussed the show and what we were going to do, you know, especially when we had Mr. McFeely, and I'm thinking, I just want to sit and have a conversation and make him feel like he's just sitting here and having a conversation with us, you know, like we're just on a couch and just talking. And just, I want him to hang up feeling like he just had a great conversation.
You feel like we're
And then he literally wrote that in
right.
his letter
His
to
little
us.
letter.
You know,
His speedy delivery.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we get to make moments to our guests as well. We affect them as much as they affect us.
I mean, I know we're interviewers. Some people might love it, some people not. But like at the core of it, we are true fans as well. And I think
Absolutely.
that's what shows when we do these interviews is that we are just like the listener who wants to know these questions and are a lot of times struck by just how wonderful these people are. Ken, I mean, what's
I
up?
know.
Dude,
It
more
did make
more
me
kudos to you, man. That was a great
Yeah.
get.
All right.
That
Yeah.
was
a great get.
What are we talking about next week? Malls?
You know what? They do really like we talk about, they really like anything where we banter. You know, I was looking at some of the demographics and stats and
Yeah.
stuff, and like some of the big stuff were just the best ofs. The Stallone versus Arnold. Who's got the best? The best female heartthrobs, the best male heartthrobs. Well, the best female one just came out today. The people are getting to watch that already. But not we don't even need guests. But when we have guests, it just makes
It's
more memorable for us
Yeah.
as well. We get
Word
to have
on the
these
street
wonderful
is that we all have good chemistry.
Ooh,
That's what they've been saying to me.
chemistry.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
What street? Elm Street?
Ah, nice.
That was so cheesy.
I know.
That
You
was
got
so
some good.
cheesy.
You got
That was
some
a-
platinum
that was
dad
a-
jokes.
I was just going to say that was a very bad dad joke, though.
No, it was a platinum dad joke. Yeah, man. Well, love you guys. Love us Nostalgia
love
Cafe,
you.
and we love you guys
We love the
listening.
Nostalgia Cafe, and we all love the people here. Don't forget that 80s extravaganza. That's going to be in August.
No. July 31st.
Oh my God, some people's gonna be hanging out outside. But Dan said,
Just
yeah,
read the graphic. It's going to be on the thing.
You just threw your notes across the room.
Do you
I
like the
know.
theme?
I can't believe you made this, man. You should have been
feel
making Nintendo game tracks.
Yeah,
all
I was
the
just going to
time.
say, I feel like I'm playing a video game.
I feel like I'm about to slash some people in Hyrule. I am Zelda. No, Zelda's the princess. I am Link, and I am ready.
Sam Zelda. I like it.
No. Love you guys.
Yeah, I'll let you play it for a little bit. I'll let you hear it, actually, because you haven't even heard it yet.
Yeah, the whole
You just
thing.
heard little bits
Yeah.
and pieces of it.
I wanted you to send it to me, but I
Here
was
we go.
like, I'll
Wait.
just
There you go. I actually bought a keyboard just to have these sounds so I can pull this off. And due to copyrights and everything, we may have had...
There you go.
Oh! Dude, I never heard this part. Oh, bro.
Little turnaround right there.
Dang, that was nice. That was real nice.
Do you know this is our 16th show?
Oh my gosh, really?
Sweet 16?
This is our 16th show.
So, Karen, are you still enjoying this? Is this your jam?
I
gonna,
like it.
You gonna
I
hang
have
with
fun.
us?
I'm going to hang.
Every
Have
week
fun.
I'm like, is Karen still gonna do
Yeah.
this?
Oh my God, yeah,
Has Karen had
absolutely.
enough of us?
Absolutely.
Who would make the martinis?
I know.
All right, everybody.
That's why we keep you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we exhausted the whole
Yeah.
outro.
Yep.
So we're going to have to probably play the damn thing again.
Yeah.
And
Worth it.
as it fades in, but
You're
that's it for
welcome.
now. You can always follow us. Fucking song.
let's
You can always follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Be sure to give us a like, follow, subscribe. You want to advertise with us? You want to work out something, little, promotion kind of thing?
Yeah.
I love his moves. Because I got to find screenshots
That's
for all
that.
this stuff.
Yeah.
Sam
Sam
tells
makes
the pillars of
faces.
Hamilton.
Ooh.
He almost...
Don't knock.
I do that once a week. I almost knock over a drink.
He knocks stuff over.
Right? No, almost.
Pillars of Hamilton.
No, that show's over.
Is it?
Nostalgia Cafe for life.
This is it. Are we still doing
we're
Embellished? Embellished by
Maybe.
Karen Lynn. At Embellished by Karen Lynn.
I
You can
haven't
find
really
her on
done anything in a long
Instagram.
time.
All right. It seems like all we're doing now. We just gave up all our jobs, all our lives, and just sitting here in this little room.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
We did it for you.
Have a good day.
Toodaloo.